Lawsuit could be on the horizon for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Some victims are accusing the former sheriff of not doing enough to lock up the accused Club Q shooter.
Tonight, we asked the question, should such a lawsuit have any chance in court? Good evening, I'm Heather Skold.
I'm Josh Helmuth in for Bart Betzel. Thanks for making us your choice for news at 10 o'clock. We start with the family members of those lost in the Club Q tragedy last November. They claim that then Sheriff Bill Elder could have done more to prevent their murders.
They're now preparing to take legal actions. But tonight, 13 Investigates is analyzing if a civil lawsuit over red flag laws will end in success for those families. Investigative reporter Sean Rice is live outside Club Q tonight to break down what he's learning. Sean.
Yeah, Heather and Josh, red flag orders allow law enforcement and/or family members to petition the courts to take guns away from someone who may be perceived as a threat to themselves or others. But in the case of Anderson Aldrich, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office chose not to do that in a prior criminal case, which was later dismissed in criminal court. But now the family members of the fallen say former Sheriff Bill Elder is now guilty of negligence.
You may remember this video taken from a Lorson Ranch neighborhood back in June of 2021. On that day, after a tense standoff, the sheriff's office arrested Anderson Aldrich on kidnapping charges tied to making threats with bombs and guns. While Aldrich was being prosecuted, there was a mandatory protection order in place which barred them from possessing guns. But once the case was dismissed, the records were sealed, and former Sheriff Bill Elder says they were unable to present evidence to a judge that showed Aldrich was a danger. What's problematic for Elder is that for years prior to that, he was on record as saying he was vehemently opposed to enforcing the state's red flag law.
We're not going to pursue these on our own, meaning the sheriff's office isn't going to run over and try and get a court order. I'm not about to start that.
I think that it's going to be a stretch.
Attorney Jeremy Lowe says suing the sheriff's office for not using that tool, so to speak, would be difficult to do. The plaintiffs would have to prove Elder acted with negligence and overcome broad immunities that those in government enjoy. He added that there are tens of thousands of criminal cases in El Paso County every year, and analyzing who's a threat in each of those cases is a pretty tall task.
It's an unfair burden to place that upon the sheriff's office to in every case review whether or not an extreme risk protection order is necessary.
Lowe says the real burden fell to Aldrich's family members who refused to testify against the now accused mass murderer, never asking the courts to remove his weapons.
The family should have had an obligation to say, you know, we have concerns about this individual. We have mental health concerns. He's made threats to us. There's bomb-making material. We believe he's a threat to the community.
Now, these documents are not a formal lawsuit, and they haven't even been filed in federal or state court yet, but they do allow both parties to come together to reach some kind of settlement even before litigation is ever filed. Today, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office told us they could not comment on these intent to sue documents. Reporting live outside Club Q, Sean Rice, 13 Investigates.
All right, Sean, thank you.